Not sure what happened there, but had a little hiccup. I heard your question about the soundtrack, and no, we don't have that yet.
Great idea. I bet somebody here could make us a great soundtrack.
Monty! By the way, when it comes to this, I put a link in the live chat. So we move on the experiment with recognizing contribution. So normally you should see the link to the dework platform for the singularitynet-ambas program. And there you can see join ambassador Townhall version 9 on 100 channels. And what you can do is, when you go on the task to submit work, simply, then you add something, whatever you want. Just, I'm here, happy Tuesday, you write whatever you want. Then we will come back to those where we don't have the addresses yet, to gather your addresses and then to send out. And this will come next Monday. Each Monday we send out the solutions then. And you will receive some tasty tokens in your wallet. Yes. So
Tasty tokens. I love it.
tasty tokens, indeed.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's awesome, and yeah, do really recommend well, everybody, I guess, to yeah, submit work to that task. Let's see. Yeah, I'll quickly touch on the agenda, I guess. It's pretty much the structure we're always using lately. Little update on the work group progress, and then update on the tasks and rewards, and then we have a little portion for some Fund 9 proposal, and after that there's room for open topics. If anybody has a topic to contribute already to the agenda, that's perfectly welcome. But yeah, we'll see at the end. That's also fine.
Maybe I would love to give a really short pitch about the proposal which we submitted in Catalyst for Swarm and Singularity. As the largest part of the funds which we request are mentioned to directly be allocated to the folks here. If it's okay.
Yeah, you can. I did not put it at the beginning, but let me skip a bit. That's fine. Not sure why my laptop is almost freezing. There you go. Yeah, well, we can start with that. That's cool.
Now you mean?
Yeah, as you wish. Go ahead.
Okay. Wait, therefore, at first I drop a link already. Short background to the whole stuff. Initially, Swarm and what Tivo and me are doing a lot is, yeah, doing community, supporting community, whatnot in Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst is a little bit, let's say, the developing engine room of Cardano. Very similar to Deep Fund, where a certain part of the treasury gets invested into Project Catalyst, the same like Deep Fund for SingularityNet, with the main goal to empower and encourage the community to build solutions for even further and better evolution of the ecosystem, and to reward those people for this, right? Because they don't want to do everything for free the whole time. They have also to fulfill the fridge at some point. And those funds are mostly coordinated by the entities, foundations, whatnot. In our regard, in Project Catalyst, it's IHK, Input Output Hong Kong, now Input Output Global, was stewarding this experiment. At Swarm, we are there since 1.5 years, and this is like we built our project also, so fully from community treasury, and each and every fund is submitted and voted and checked by the community itself. And what we did now is because we have several challenges in Cardano, and one of those challenges is cross-chain collaboration. And the whole challenge has a total budget of $900,000 worth of data. And proposer can come and submit proposal. Okay, submission is over now. They were able to come and submit proposals and say, hey, how can we in Cardano boost, encourage, motivate, support any cross-chain collaborations? And there has been a list on the cross-chain collaboration challenge as well, which included SingularityNet. Because I'm one of the co-writers of this challenge as well. Part of the challenge team, the last 2 funding rounds, the cross-chain collaboration. So we submitted a proposal asking for $60,000 over a time frame of 4 months to mostly do what everybody's doing here, building community, coming together, spending time, engage, and everything. And should I share my screen for a second? Yeah, I do. Let's say this one.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
Can you see the proposal?
Yeah, it's in the recording now, at least full screen.
Good.
People need to click the watch screen stream button in the overview.
Yeah, I can see it.
So you can see a little bit, this is like the proposals in Catalyst are structured. It's similar to DeepFund, but yeah, there are differences. First, the problem statement is there's a massive lack of coordination, communication, and collaboration between the Cardano and SingularityNet communities to turn Cardano into the premier blockchain for AI services. First, yes, SingularityNet is already migrating to Cardano, and think then from our side, what needs to be done to make it as easy as possible for SingularityNet to build AI services, which are then also directly linked to Cardano, right? Because we say SingularityNet is like Cardano, just AI. So, voilà. Then the whole proposal is about a very broad vision to simply say what we experienced in Catalyst. So, hosting community events, encouraging people, supporting people through direct funds as well, and everything. And the whole proposal is mapped for Q2, Q3, and 4. This part. We mapped also, okay, what happened so far already. So when we started already to join introducing tools and platforms, raising awareness within the Catalyst community about SingularityNet already and everything. That's mostly, yes, start specific cross-chain community initiatives, such as events and sessions in collaboration, Catalyst Swarm and SingularityNet communities, introducing Cardano communities to SingularityNet, and vice versa, introducing Catalyst projects and proposal to DeepFund for deep funding round number 2, which Pete, you said it's somehow in Q3 2022, but it's not fully confirmed yet today.
Yeah, accurate. Right now there's a bit of community ideation taking place on how to optimize, basically. Just making sure we spend the funds in the proper way, because we can only spend them once. So yeah, I think it will happen in Q3, but it's not dated yet. And if there's a reason to delay it to Q4, we will. It will really depend on the ideation and what comes up, what needs to change, and how long it will take to implement that.
So, as mostly things are, let's say, we want to keep them loose enough to operate effectively. Like this, we map the whole proposal as well. For example, then, okay, what do we envision in Q3 to further? Okay, like mentioned already cross-pollination and raising awareness on both sides, then increasing community infrastructure, which we experienced. Cool, this works really well, especially to build global communities, where we have our community town halls, which are, for example, Eastern, Latam, and Africa, where we have this town halls like this one, just in 9 different languages, over 3 different town halls with the local communities. To say, for example, cool, we can introduce SingularityNet there step by step and everything. Then initiating and supporting merchants of independent teams set by Singularity community members. So, for example, let's say people here come together and have a really nice idea. Say, hey, cool, let's do this or that. But we directly have funds available to support those people. then in a later stage, for example, then adapt and implement the Catalyst School principles that we discovered in Project Catalyst. So Catalyst School are mostly very experienced community members who come and introduce and educate newcomers to the ecosystem in specific roles or in specific tasks or services or whatnot. Yep. And with this, simply explore and establish cross-community projects and cross-pollination and evolution. And the main budget clustered in community management, project management, interaction from tools and platform, community events, bounties, which will be this budget will fully be swept into HIX tokens as well. And that we set directly across already for the treasure and accounting system and everything what we develop with the treasury guild. So that folks who operate don't have to take too much head about, shit, how do we account and how do we manage the treasury and everything, and doing the transactions and all the stuff. This can be outsourced directly as a service. Yep, and that's mostly it. The most part of the budget, this is the only budget which would be allocated to the Cardano community, specifically by introducing tools and platforms. And the other budget would be fully allocated to the SingularityNet communities and initiatives then. Yep. That's pretty much it, I'd say. And most likely it gets voted and funded. And then, yes, we have some funds available from Cardano to support you guys.
That's amazing. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's yeah. What can I say? It is amazing.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
thanks
is.
so much, Felix. That's great. Very kind of you. We're appreciative of you guys coming in and helping out and collaborating so much. It's good to see the motivation you guys have. The inspiration is inspiring me.
And I have to say it's very egoistic because there are two massive, let's say, revolutions going on. One is blockchain, one is AI. And we are on Cardano sitting together on those both already. And we just need to support each other and making sure, hey, cool, we communicate, coordinate our actions from Cardano and SingularityNet. I think especially also from the community side. I believe a lot in grassroots and in bottom-up power. And to say, hey, communities, come together, build fucking amazing projects, join forces, merge resources. And
Absolutely. Bringing these two visionary communities together to create a disruption on an even more massive scale. What could be better?
And one goal behind this is as well like the same way in which we go with Swarm, to enable some first serious funds where we are actually able to engage community members in a full-time position.
Yes.
So that when people, if they are really committed and they really say, hey, this is where I want to spend my time, that we can provide the financial security for them to do so.
Yes.
Yeah, with these kind of numbers you actually can. That's amazing. They're looking at our budgets. They are directly tied to token price as well. So with current market conditions, yeah, we definitely cannot support full-time positions. And we do intend to support more than one person total. So yeah, you cannot spend the full budget on one person. That's not working. So yeah, that's really amazing. That will enable a lot of growth if voted. So practically speaking, when can we start voting on that?
Voting registration on Cardano is open already. And the voting... give me a second.
Just going into the assessment phase, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Right now we have 10 days, about 9 days left to give feedback. How could we improve this proposal? What could we add? And score it. And then from the and that is open for everybody. Even if you're like, I will do that one proposal, maybe that is it, but USS, and that is totally fine.
Voting opens then on, I just put a link in the live chat here, where you can see the timeline for Project Catalyst Fund 9. And voting period starts on August 11th, then. Next month. In 1 month and 1 week.
Thank you. We need to put out a reminder to the community to get registered if they're not already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great stuff. That's cannot wait to see that unfold.
Only thing on Cardano voting, you can't vote with AGIX.
Right.
You have to vote with ADA, and you need a minimum amount of 500 ADA to
Yes.
register to vote.
We'll cover that again. I think and I hope a number of people have voted before because we had the crossover challenge in Fund 7. And so we had a number of initiatives that the community could support, which was great for getting a Cardano, voting community. And then we've had proposals in Fund 8 as well, and now there's this one and a couple more actually for Fund 9. So make sure that the community, that we're growing that community, the Cardano supporting community inside of our own community because they're so closely joined, right?
Miroslav actually also joined, one of the co-proposers or co-writers. I'm not exactly sure on your internal division of work, but
Miroslav
Yeah.
is one of our co-founders of the Treasury Guild. They developed the whole treasury and accounting system behind
Yes,
stuff.
hello guys.
welcome, and thank you as well. Just like Tevo and Felix, and I believe Andre is also one of the co-writers, right?
Yes.
Yes, but Andre is today is feeling a little bit sick, so yeah, he cannot join us here.
Yeah, happens. It's unfortunate, but hope he gets well soon.
You have some hard background noises, Miro.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, you have some nice background noises. Sounds like you are sitting in a microwave.
Shit, guys, wait.
It makes me wonder how to go back from such an awesome topic to the bit more mundane. Let's see. Are there any questions from other people regarding this proposal, or I guess the ideation phase is in full progress, so you can also just go to the portal to submit questions and comments, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Seems that covers the topic for now. Amazing. Thanks.
Just a last mention, the proposal serves as a very first pilot to say then, cool, once this is successful, then we even have a very strong argument also to say, deep funding round 2. And then, for example, the people here could go and submit a proposal already based on this, and to start to run their totally own initiative then as well, saying, hey, it's actually possible to build an access to community funds and to directly support community contributions, even if it's not building an AI platform or tool or service. Because it also aims to develop the platform in general, but really much from the social side, from the community side. Say, hey, project.
Yeah, definitely. The deep funding has room for that. During the first round, there wasn't. Yeah, I think in the proposals that actually made it, there was not so much on the community building, communication awareness, marketing, that angle. But there's definitely room for that. And yeah, that will also get touched on, I think, in the community governance sessions, because yeah, it seems like perhaps we might need to have a separate category for that, so that people actually see it's an option, and will hopefully submit proposals. Welcome, Cardano and Stephen.
Hi, Peter.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think for now at least we touched on the topic enough, but we can come back to it later, because I think the other topics, we'll have to see how long we go there. But yeah, I think time-wise makes sense to get the rest of the agenda covered as well. Cool. Let me hop back a slide or two. Yeah, quick update on the work groups. Earlier today, I think we actually settled on a new time slot for the community podcast work group. That would be 11 UTC on both Monday and Friday. Took a bit of puzzling, but also it's still flexible. If somehow it turns out, yeah, there's way more people available at a different slot, I think we can work that out. But for now, it's 11 UTC on both Monday and Friday. So first one of that will be this Friday, and will simply be on Discord.
11 a.m. or p.m.?
I never used that notation, but
It would be
yeah,
AM.
it would be AM. Yeah, I almost ended up at a midnight meeting, but I made some time zone errors, so yeah, well, struggles. Yeah, I think compared to last week, correct me if I'm wrong, Julian, but there's not too much concrete progress since last week's meeting didn't take place.
Yeah, as of yesterday, Patrick from Miesverse actually friend requested me through Discord. So I do actually have, he wants to meet on Tuesday. We're picking the time, but he wants to meet Tuesday. So that'll be happening. I don't know if anybody has any questions at all for the Miesverse interview with him. That's the VR training and event, musical lessons, all done within Somnium Space VR Metaverse. It's a really interesting project that was done, or they won deep funding. They were one of the projects that won and won their funding, and it's very exciting. He's got an interesting interview on the Hotel Cardano, or the Cardano Hotel podcast that I saw. It's only about 20 minutes, but it's really interesting there. But yeah, I have a bunch of questions listed there. If anyone has anything else that, something that stuck out, we could always add it in there. And if it's helpful, I can put what I have down and we can kind of go over it and see what people are thinking. The only thing I could see with that is, if we're putting it up on the podcast server, I don't know if Patrick's going to go in there and see it. Not that that would really matter too much, but we may want to have some anonymity in the sense of that, just so, I don't know, that we're always going to want to talk about every question we're asking to guests. Not that we're trying to bamboozle them or anything, but it might take some of the spontaneity out of it, which we may lose something if that happens. Does anyone have any thoughts on that at all? On anything really I said yet so far?
Well, mostly just happy to hear you finally connected. And it's happening.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's very good. And then, so that's that. And then as far as Kenrick from the risk aware data sets, which is another one that we're going to be doing. So that's another one. If anyone's interested, you can go in there and look at the project that won. There's the descriptions, and they have a video they put up through SingularityNet where he was doing a little presentation. That he said basically around the 15th of July. So it's not a guarantee. It's sometime after that. There's like a milestone at that point. So he said it's a good time to do it right around then. So we're waiting on that. And then basically we have the architect interview, which he sent me over his notes that he kind of had made about that. So it's a matter of whether we're going to do that, or Peter, we had talked about doing some sort of ambassador check-in, check-up. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm happy to do that with you, Peter. At any point, we can figure that out between now and Friday, or whenever, really. And then architect off to talk. I don't think he's in here, is he? No. Okay. Another thing, we talked last week about the fact that when we first started, we were kind of talking about doing everything a kind of a rundown day-to-day activities of things that are happening, and that's important to me to some extent. But after talking with Peter and brainstorming where at least my passions lie, it's more with the kind of finding specific stories and maybe opening up those stories a bit more, as opposed to just constantly saying what's going on any given second in the community. So I've been kind of contemplating what that would look like. I'm still thinking a lot about it. I mean, I don't really have an exact way that I want things to go per se, but I do, like, I thought, for example, with the Rejuve, because Cardano and myself are going to be doing the kind of like review. I'm sure there's other people now. I'm not sure which people are or aren't, but we're doing this Rejuve app and kind of checking it out and doing a review of sorts on that. So, and I know Haley had mentioned maybe connecting with Rejuve and the CEO and stuff like that. So I was thinking maybe doing a story, perhaps we could do something like that, where once I'm finished with my review of the Rejuve app, we could do a connect with maybe some of the people from Rejuve and do a little spotlight on that and kind of, basket that all up together as a story. That was kind of one of the first things that came to mind that would make sense and seems to be doable in the near future.
Hello. So do you mean it to be more of like an interview type of thing, or?
Oh, okay. Hey, it's you.
Hi.
Hey, I didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't even know you were in here. But yeah, I mean, whatever, really. I mean, it was just something that Haley had mentioned, I think it was last week, about, how some of the projects we were trying to connect more, with the community and stuff like that. So whatever works, really. I mean, I guess interview may be, useful, but I mean, honestly, I would bring it to you and say, like, what do you think? Like, what would you want it to be? What would be the most beneficial, like, useful thing to do, if anything?
So right now, what you're doing is just a review of the app, right?
Yeah, that's, yep. It's a little dework task that we had put up. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Because actually, we're planning sort of a similar thing to what we're doing here now, just about the app, where like kind of a town hall where people can ask questions and kind of discuss, what they think so far, and like some maybe planned features, because we haven't fully we do have a lot of planned stuff that is not necessarily announced yet, but we can maybe get into that a little bit, or people can suggest things that they saw or whatnot. So we do have that event coming up too.
Okay. I mean, is Haley in here right now, or is she not here today?
Yeah.
I think I see you there.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I mean, my Was I following what you were saying? I mean, did you have
No, absolutely. I think that
Okay.
it would be cool to do an interview like Justin was saying. We're in the process of scheduling a town hall where everybody can hop in and ask about the app or give feedback or features that they want and all that, which will be a cool community event. But I think doing a little podcast where you get to do a little deep dive into anything that you're curious about or looks interesting, and looking at future plans would be cool too. So I think that both would be neat.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it was just a thought. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and if you guys are doing something more community facing, more so than normal right now too, maybe we can wait and do it with another project. I mean, I just remember you talking about Rejuve, I think, Haley, because it was just coming out, most likely,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things were happening there. But
Yeah, well, and
more
having
sense to wait and do something else and come back to it. But or maybe we watch, if I participate and go to the meeting and then kind of do a wrap up maybe of that with a few additional questions after the fact.
yeah,
Something like that.
that'd be cool. It'd be it might be more watchable for folks than a town hall style where there's a lot of people talking. Having something that's, as you say, like a wrap up that kind of brings everything together, and it's just you and Jasmine getting to talk.
There you go. Yeah, maybe just kind of after the fact, we can both take thoughts from everything after the actual, after everyone's done it, and then the town hall, then we come back together with a few questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm sorry. What was not Haley, but the other person that was speaking? What's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay. So I guess we could just connect through what do you guys think? Through the Discord, SingularityNet, like a friend request or something like that, or I'm kind of new to this kind of stuff on Discord.
Yeah, I actually don't use it a whole lot myself. They're more on Telegram, but it looks like, yeah, you can just direct message people the same way, and I see everyone's name on the side here.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Julian, so if you want, you can just send me or I'll find you. All right. Just checking over to see if there's anything else I wanted to say right now. And I mean, some of the stuff we can. What was it?
Well, on that town hall, I think that will be happening relatively short term, like won't be weeks and weeks.
Okay.
Just for context.
Okay. Cool. And then basically, a lot of this stuff we can, touch base on throughout the week, especially if we're starting to do 2 meetings now. But I have some, like the monologues, like I said, that I had been working on. So those can get posted again and for any sort of kind of review, or I just don't know how helpful it would be if it should be of a more internal thing for just the podcast group alone for those types of things. And then obviously we're trying to get more down the line when we're doing more editing. We're going to want to have that stuff available for, people to look at as far as, audio levels, video editing, when we're trying to actually, I guess that kind of leads into another thought that I had, but about the extra funding through the podcast. Like, obviously that we talked about last week, the 5,000 AGI X, and then the 2,500 to be basically allotted out, and picking tasks basically for that amount of money. I mean, I want to do some more brainstorming on that, because I guess we got to decide what that's going to look like, really. I mean, because where I was talking about doing more centralized stories, maybe there could be something along the lines of somebody does a little bit more of a wrap up or does some notes on more day-to-day stuff. That could be some sort of task for a determined amount. But things like that, we're just trying to figure out what those would look like and then beyond that, like what the actual ones that came out, because you gave me the ones for last month, and so I have an idea of what I would want to do with that, but I just didn't know how to go about, making that decision or what would be appropriate.
Well, I think broadly speaking, that would be at your discretion. Yeah, I guess technically you could also use last month's tokens to have it already available, but yeah, that's up to you to decide. Like if you want to use the same disbursement schedule as the broader program, so like in hindsight, you would that makes the most sense to use that, I think.
Yeah, unless we start actually putting up tasks, for example, if we start putting up dework tasks for a specific amount, in that case, I guess it'd just be when the task is actually finished. But as we're, putting this all together, we don't have that up yet. So, I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about this stuff. Is it more appropriate for us to have more private? I just don't know. Talking about, at some point, I'm going to have to mention where my thoughts are on that, but I don't want to talk out of turn. I just don't know I don't know what's appropriate about that.
No worries there. Yeah, I guess it's like you mentioned, figuring out the exact tasks where you would like to allocate to, and have a little brainstorm on that. Yeah, that would make perfect sense from my point of view, at least, to do like this on this Friday meeting.
Okay,
or
cool. Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But I basically have, I feel like I know what I want to do, but I also wanted to maybe talk to people at least once about it, just to see. Obviously, I'm open to doing really whatever. It's just what I have in my head. So I guess that's basically it. Let's just, I mean, if it's helpful to people, I can post those videos, or if not, then I won't. I just don't know where the temperature is on that kind of thing, and if people find that useful.
I would say it wouldn't hurt. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, well, with you being the work group leader for the podcast channel, go ahead and post anything you want there. Or you mean in the current chat? Perhaps.
No, I mean just in general, like in the server for like the community podcast or the ambassador, like I did with the last ones when I was posting them.
I think it's all good. Yeah. Feel free to post anything you feel that's relevant.
Okay.
Seems simple like that.
Sure. All right. I'll try to keep the podcast stuff in the community podcast itself, but sometimes like I do think it might be useful to update people within the ambassador server itself, because I think sometimes people that aren't always super interested in what's going on with the podcast may want to chime in on like just something that's going on, say, hey, this is something we're doing, just take a look if you're interested. So if that's cool, I would occasionally do that when it seemed appropriate with everyone.
Technically it's fine, but I feel like the people who watch Ambassador channel and want that feed, they probably will get it from these kinds of town hall meetings, and over time, like just being in the community, it will just come across, oh, this thing actually doing, and then join in.
So you think it might not be the best because people might, for the most part, aren't going to care as much? Is that what you're trying to say, Tiva?
Well, not that they don't care, but it's just I don't know, the way I see, maybe to me the Discord is tool, and it kind of removes the spam a little if you make like you post in both places, and in another way it keeps like topics in the appropriate places.
Sure. Yeah, I'm talking like once in a while when there's something that makes sense to say, but for the most part, I'll try not to. I definitely get that distinction between the two, and I think it's important, and I definitely don't want to over spam anything. That's the last thing. So agreed on that. So yeah, that's basically it. We'll just we'll do that, and then we'll see you, everybody who wants to show up on Friday, and then we can talk about changing the times and days also. But we'll just have to talk. People will have to give feedback on if that works at all. It was just, we were having a really hard time finding a time for everyone, so it just seemed like there wasn't a good answer for that, unfortunately. But let's just keep looking at it as we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds good.
I'm reading the chat right now, and is it 20 UTC or 22 UTC?
It's 20. Are you talking about the 22 was what Peter said in the community podcast chat? Is that what you mean, Thibaut?
Yep.
Yeah, 22. But that was wrong. No. Wasn't that wrong, actually? Never mind.
Yeah, that ended up being intended as CET, but
Okay, so 20 UTC next podcast meeting.
no, it's basically like on the screen on the slide. We ended up going for 11 a.m. UTC.
Oh, okay. Slide. Yeah, okay. We didn't even watch slides. I was assuming.
No, that makes sense. It should also be in the chat, and it's not. I'm not sure if it.
It is, but there is a lot of dates and times. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Now I think I found the right one.
Yeah. So yeah, 11 UTC on both Monday and Friday. All right. Now move on to the. I'll give a quick update on the Process Guild, because for that one I'm also considering perhaps picking a better meeting slot. It's right now it's at Monday 18 UTC, and I'm not sure if the very long turnout is related to the time slot or just general interest, which might very well be the case. But yeah, so that made me think perhaps let's figure out if it's time slot related. However, I guess could do another when to meet link for that, because I still didn't come across a proper easy tool for figuring out something like this with a group of 15 people. I feel it should be there, because I don't know. Yeah, basically that will be done through chat, I think, because even right now in this meeting I don't have a proper tool for getting a temperature check on checking what could be a decent time slot for that.
Yeah, the time is one of the main reasons why I can't go to that one. It's just like a lot of the times that we're doing for a lot of this stuff, it ends up being in the middle of the day on East Coast time, so it's just Eastern Standard Time is tough. So I don't know if we could try the one to meet again. I would be open to it. I know it's not great. Maybe there's a time we can figure it all out, or it's just tough when when it's noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. It's just a tough time to meet. I mean, I can definitely show up when I can and just turn the phone on and kind of listen. It's not going to be the engaged amount that I'd like to be, though.
Yeah, fair. I think for now it's best to put that to chat and see if we can figure it out. Right. So let me hop to the next one. Quick update. I will keep it a bit short. Quick update on the rewards for June. They're distributed, so check your wallet if you're involved. It's also on the Yeah, the transaction is also on the public sheet on the Gitbook. Then I would like to ask Jasmine to give a couple of bit explanation on the next bullet point.
So we in like the new task or?
Yep.
All right, so I was thinking for the app, so we have a bunch of different survey questions, and even the list now is not the complete one. We're going to be loading in new questions, and in order to tie those in, we kind of need the scientific research statistics from papers in order to back up those claims by the AI. So, I mean, not really sure that someone without some sort of medical background would be able to take it on, just because of, you know, you kind of have to have a bit of an idea of what you're looking at and reading. But that is one of them. Another one that could be more easier is the common facing articles. So if you see in the app right now, we have two different types of references in the insights. And first one on the top is the common, which is just normal stuff that, when you Google up, what are the top 10 best supplements for this problem or anything like that. We have those type of articles, so those are kind of easier to find, but it takes a while to do it, so that's why it's a good task, to assign here. And as far as the translations, this is something that we are kind of discussing, but it is already emerging as something that's wanted and desired by the community. But we'll have to begin that when we're actually closer to releasing on the app stores, because a lot of the content will end up changing. Like, as I said, we'll be adding more surveys and maybe even enriching the insights a little bit, and having more going on. So it wouldn't really make sense to begin to translate now if it turns out that we change things. I mean, maybe some of the basic opening screens won't change much or whatnot, but it's just, I think it'll be easier if we have that entire copy there to pass along instead of a partial copy.
Thank you.
One thing having translators early, even if it's going to be changed, is that you have a trusted source who can translate, and most likely, you might not have to translate everything again, so that person can pretty much continue.
Do you think, even if they had to sort of go back and readjust something that was already done, you don't think that'd be annoying or something?
Well, it might be, but then again, like in current situation, we don't even know if there is a translator, and right now, like finding it, like the opportunity to find somebody who could do that and who's interested to do that, maybe he might be in here right now, but not when you actually need it. So that already kind of connects you with opportunity.
I guess there's like one other task I can mention, but it's also kind of more of a, it'd be for someone that's a medical professional, but maybe someone that's watching this recording will see. And that is to kind of check over and help us establish the appropriate clinical ranges for the lab inputs. Like right now, we kind of have a very wide spectrum where it just goes from basically 0 to the highest recorded in human history kind of thing, which, can work for some scenarios, but then other ones it may not make as much sense. So it would be good to just have one person kind of look over those and make sure that it is sensible before we launch. And I guess another thing would be helping us with the website. That one is kind of like a harder, more advanced task though, because it requires WordPress developer skills.
We had talked about in the last Townhall, Ambassador Townhall, Jasmine, that it would be very cool to get some ambassadors, especially linked up with specific projects. So I have an ambassador or two that's specially volunteering to work with Rejuve and one for Mindplex and maybe Gem Galaxy or others. And so these ambassadors would be people that are particularly excited and interested in the project, perhaps even joining a meeting or two with the Rejuve team or Mindplex team or whatever project team during the weeks to kind of, bring a community perspective into the project and share what the community is excited about and looking forward to and give feedback on, ideas or directions and, somebody, with an NDA. And then also they can bring some of the information about what's going on inside Rejuve or Mindplex or whichever project back into the ecosystem itself. They have some of the news about where Rejuve is at and what's coming and like only what's shareable within an NDA, nothing outside of what's shareable, but be able to bring kind of some dialogue flow and additional kind of transparency and collaboration between the community and the various projects. So I don't know how that would or could look, but it would be so cool to be able to integrate the community through the ambassador program into the projects in a more solid way like that. It might be something that we can kind of brainstorm about, but there's an idea out there at least that would be cool to start looking at.
Yeah, I think that sounds really cool, and that would be pretty cool. Like, yeah, having a true liaison between the two and everything. Like, I think that would be really good.
Cool. Is there a space in dework where we can bring conversation and ideation in, Peter? Or is it something that might be better suited for Sway or just within Telegram or the forums?
I would say Discord perhaps, but
Or Discord, of course, right.
I think that's the simplest. I mean, you can discuss stuff on dework, but not that well. Well, for discussion, I would say Discord. Or if strongly preferred, I guess another platform, just a text-based platform can also be used, but yeah. Yeah, I would say simplest is just to make a channel for it. And then if that somehow proves not efficient or not sufficient, then we can always change that, but yeah.
Is that something that somebody would be interested in kind of taking on and heading up and spearheading conversation around?
I'm definitely interested to be involved. I mean, whoever else too, but I definitely want to be there. If no one else wants to, spearhead it, I will. I know there's a bunch of projects. I hope that we can have room for maybe, a few, because I'm assuming there'll be some sort of overlap when it comes to different people and different projects where there'll be more than one who are really interested. So, because I can think of a bunch that I'm just like, I don't want to have to pick just one, because I want to stay involved with multiple.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be no problem, I don't think.
So, I mean, just starting some sort of conversation in the ambassador kind of chat about kind of what are we thinking, guys?
Sounds super interesting, but considering the time requirements for other projects I'm involved in and focus groups, I don't think I can join
It would be cool even just to have some early joiners that can kind of ideate around what might be kind of a valuable outline for such ambassadors. You know, like what would you like an ambassador to join in and do and bring back to the community, and then from there, you know, go into the Telegram and Discord groups over social media even, and really reach out to see if we can find the people that would be interested in joining those roles. So first step is just, you know, what would we want this to look like would be a good design step.
Yeah, I'm in a similar situation of being very committed elsewhere, but from listening to this, it seems you refer to an NDA, so you have existing projects which you want to kind of showcase what you can in a dialogue, which participants can then engage and contribute to. And you want to start off with a framework of some kind, and then the platform issue comes into it, so then you're discussing using Discord for that. There's also asynchronous issues and maybe visualization issues, so maybe you could use a platform like Miro or something to ideate this, and then where people can come and go. Or is it just that you want a discussion structure to emerge?
Interesting question.
It's not clearly defined yet.
At the beginning, to have a place where exactly conversations like this can happen. To figure out everything next.
Yeah, it's just starting, Peter. You know, so I mean, sometimes that's useful in a conversation like this. Sometimes it works. I mean, I hear the need for a light structure to begin, to give some context. Okay, I'm not fully familiar with the context here, but there is one. You know, so it is seeding that, isn't it? You know, so how to do that? That can be done asynchronously as well. That is convenient. But if you have some focus to begin with, that is helpful sometimes, I think.
Do you think it would be useful to set up its own channel in the Discord already, or should we just talk about it in the ambassador program chat type thing?
I apologize so much for bringing this up and then having to hop, but I have to hop. So I look forward to seeing what comes out of it. Thanks all.
See ya. Thank you.
Yeah. I did go ahead and make a channel, so
Okay, cool.
don't feel obliged to use it.
Yeah, I like the Myra board. I like that idea with the Myra board because I like what we've done with that. What TiVo has helped us with that, and what we've done with it. I like that as a visual tool.
But it's great. I mean, I'm thinking to mix it up a bit. You're right at the beginning, so I would try. You can break a few things. You can try a few things. And so create some channels, delete some channels, kind of thing, and see what works, what doesn't work. Maybe there's some voting involved there. Maybe there's some feedback involved there. The Miro can help with a kind of not everyone likes that, but some people who like that can help with a visualization of the subjects that you're talking about. So that kind of thing. And then also you can see if it's asynchronous and you set it up right, you can see activity there. So if you create like stickies for members or something, you can say, I congregate there if you are interested in this bit or interested in that bit, kind of thing. And then you can get a kind of natural emergence, hopefully, of something.
Yeah, that's great. All right, well, I mean, I'll go in there and then I'll set up a Miro board for us, I guess, and then we can just start having conversations. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the clock, we did not manage to stay within time.
I don't know if we have
assume,
time, but do we not have time? Do you have a hard out here, Peter?
not me. I have end of work day coming up, but
Oh.
that's all.
That's kind of a hard out.
No, it's not.
No, I was just gonna mention if for time about what we talked about last week with the comment situation and going into the comments and trying to curate that stuff. I know we talked about it last week, and maybe we need more time to talk or think, but I wanted to bring that back up just because I'm passionate about that, and might as well keep talking about it until we figure out what we want to do, if anything.
That's the way. No, definitely. Yeah, to me it would be perfectly fine to have that as a role, which we're supporting with like a. I mean, you cannot, practically speaking, you cannot give people a token reward per comment or something like that, So I would say it would be like maybe like a monthly allocation, kind of like a role. That would make the most sense to me. At the same time, the advantage of having a clearly defined task is that you can easily check the results. And with a role like this, not really. I mean, yeah, I don't want to go policing around and checking if people actually interact. Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah, it is tricky.
But interesting.
The best way to do it would be. I mean,
think it's
would
the
it
same.
even be possible to have it be per comment or something? Or would that even make sense?
Well, just one step back, a little bit of context for those who maybe didn't attend last week. Like this refers to interaction on social media, like for example on a YouTube video. Yeah, it just happens pretty often that content is pushed out, and then there's potential for interaction with comments at that piece of content, which right now we're not doing all the time, or barely doing, I would say is more accurate. So in that context, Julian suggested like perhaps we can have a role for somebody to actively do that.
So they're basically helping out with social media, like replying as the page and whatnot. You mean that, or?
Yeah, basically just interacting when people leave comments, responding, and questions, trying to get answers, or at least directing them to where they could get the answers. Just being a bit more, not a bit more, a good amount more, just really jumping in there, and getting to the comments. I just think it's really important to build the whole community and the brand. I think it's a super important part of it. And I just noticed that was an area that I think we could do better with. That's all.
Yes, I guess so.
Just to specify a bit further, I don't think so far the idea was to put it like as commenting as the channel, but it can be, I guess. But
I mean, it doesn't. I'm not saying it should be the channel necessarily. It just like some sort of community, interaction. You know what I mean? Some sort of interaction from someone. I think is just that's associated at least, or has a similar passion towards it.
Yeah, it could be cool. I think it would be pretty simple to experiment with, at least. Like, just go and correct things if we're doing things which are not effective.
I don't think
guess,
not that it's not effective or anything. I think more responses and stuff could be good, or like even just liking and comments and stuff like that. I think it's super helpful as the actual, Singularity Net. So, but I know you guys probably don't have the funds to be able to have somebody, that works for you to do that. But I think it would be most effective to have SingularityNet themselves have someone, you know what I mean, that does it as the actual, group themselves. But yeah, any sort of interaction in general, I think could be helpful too.
Yeah, fair.
From like kind of, as someone like myself, as an ambassador, or some other ambassadors could be good too. I just don't know how that would work.
No, me neither, honestly.
Yeah, 'cause,
We
yeah,
do
like
have social media people, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But most of their focus would be on actually creating the content. And
Sure.
with Wise, yeah,
I mean, I feel like, not to interrupt, I feel like I could totally see why, because you guys put up so much actual content, day to day, that's kind of like a secondary thing. It totally makes sense. I just think it's possible. I've just heard, from the research I've done and stuff like that, that can really help with building. So that's just something I noticed that could make a difference with what we're trying to do.
Yeah, agreed. I think it is currently definitely secondary, but I'm not sure if it should be. I fully agree on the importance of it.
Yeah, I mean, if we could still just keep deliberating. Yeah, I wasn't trying to get any sort of decision necessarily, but it seems like it's more complicated the more we think about it.
Yeah, and it's what Jasmine puts in chat is yeah, makes sense too. You could give people flair, I guess, but on something like YouTube, I mean, if somebody, we can also give people access to accounts, at some point, if it's clear that somebody is not gonna misuse the account for anything, that's also a way of doing it.
Yeah, like they have different levels of access permissions for, like comments and responses and all of that. Because I think, yeah, we could just have, inner people there, interacting, but I think that should just be happening naturally. Like people are interested or know the answers to things, they should already kind of be driven to do it. But if we have somebody that kind of has a bit of a, like an admin tag, or, yeah, they are actually commenting as the page at that moment, then that's sort of what we're going for, it seems.
Yeah, the organicness and the naturalness to it all is really important, I think. Definitely shouldn't be forced at all. Or like stulted kind of, people can see through that in a second if it seems weird.
Yeah, I fully agree there, that we shouldn't force it.
But yeah, I think I was thinking more along those lines of like, say for example, if I did that it would be like I would have some sort of admin thing and I was going in there. But I don't think it necessarily should be me. I just think it was something that I thought maybe, that that SingularityNet would want to look at from the inside. But like I said, yeah, if there was an opening there for someone from the ambassador community to come in as like an admin to do that, then that was more of what I was thinking.
Yeah, makes sense. Thinking how to make that concretely happen.
Sure.
I can flip it the other way around and during tomorrow's marketing stand-up, see what people feel about it.
Yeah, sure. Spread it around, see what people think.
You can create custom roles in YouTube. I'm just looking it up just now.
Yeah, fair. So somebody would just be able to comment and that's it, not delete videos, for example, or upload. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess that's also for people watching this back later. If you do have input on the topic, don't hesitate and join. Because I don't see this happening within 2 days, let's say, but need to figure out a little bit more how exactly it will work. But I like it.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's see. Just looking at the sheet a little bit to see what else needs to be covered. From Mindplex side, there's also that's like the sheet says. There's help needed on a basic WordPress level. Just actually on the putting contents from Google Docs, I assume, formatting it properly into WordPress. So if there's happens to be anybody interested in helping out there, do reach out. And then this task on the pod leader meeting that did not quite get more concrete yet, but now I turned it into something like as an idea. Doesn't have to be like this. I did not make the dework task yet because I figured let's check what people feel about it. If it would make sense to request like 5 to 10 minute video summaries of this meeting, and then perhaps have up to 3 applicants for it. And then for the tentative reward would be 1500 AGIX. I figured let's check if there's any thoughts on that.
For the video summary, did you have it in your head that it more of someone actually kind of doing a video where they're talking about it, or kind of open-ended, whatever they wanted to do, or more like just a montage of kind of events?
In my mind it was montage, but I'm not sure if that would be a hard requirement. No, if somebody wants to talk about it, connecting different sections, would be perfectly fine by me.
So you were thinking kind of more along the lines of like a short, but like a longer short, like almost like a short, but a longer form, more YouTube style, original YouTube style type video?
Yeah, I guess basically more or less trying to digest the 2-hour block of information into something more bite-sized.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, if people here feel like, that's nonsense, why should we spend tokens on that? That's also completely fine too. And then, wondering what people think. Alternatively, if you feel like, just put out a task and just go with it, that's also can also do that.
I think it's a useful idea. I think we could put it up. In my mind, sounds like a good use of time and money.
All right, I think I'll just go ahead and make the task based on what's on the slide. I think that's pretty much. We covered this one.
Peter, just before we finish on that, would it would be $1,500 to the winner, and then like if you don't win, you don't get anything, even if you. Is there like a certain amount at all beyond that, or?
I'm afraid $1,500 not accurate.
Or no, 1,500. Yeah, no, you said $1,500. I think we all heard that.
Yeah, well, it's recorded. It's a fact. No. No, I would say didn't think this through. I would not make it like a contest where I would say no, it can be 3 separate ones. Would also be interesting to see what the different summaries would end up.
Yeah, I kind of like it maybe if it was similar to with the shorts one. Well, although obviously only TiVo did it that last time, but there was some kind of misunderstanding there, like far as what we were doing. But yeah, having something similar where there's a certain amount per, I don't know, like if you complete them, you get a certain amount like as long as they're like halfway decent, you get something. But then obviously there's a winner that for the best ones, something like that.
Yeah, fair.
I just wouldn't want to do all the work and then lose and then not get anything or have that happen to somebody else, you know?
No. But the way, yeah, you're right. It's not clear on the sheet, on the slide. I intended this reward for all 3 applicants, basically.
Oh,
so
okay. Okay. So it's just okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I like that better.
Okay. Cool. Did this. Then we do get to the last sheet. Is there any other topics we should touch on, or quick questions, or random thoughts, ideas, input, things you always wanted to ask? Then now would be the time.
Favorite movie?
Yeah. Hi guys. I came late, so probably I missed a little bit. I just had to get the kids to bed. I'm particularly curious about how SingularityNet will be working with Cardano. From what I have seen, you're planning that SingularityNet will be a chain above a layer 2 of Cardano. So that's the way how it would work. Is there a testnet how we could test implementations later on, or how far are you currently?
Well, in itself, SingularityNet is not a chain like that. Closest thing we've got going on, which is in relatively early stage currently, would be Hypercycle. So it does sound a bit like. Let me share that. Yeah, I put it in chat. It's hypercycle.ai. It's yeah, like I typed. It's a AI agent optimized sidechain on Hydra. That comes close to what you're describing, I think. SingularityNet itself right now, it's an AI marketplace, and it allows for people to monetize their services by uploading an AI service, and then others can use it. I'm not sure if that somewhat answers you, but feel free to ask more.
Yes, it does. The Hypercycle is from you, right? Currently, my network seems slow because the page is... Yeah, it's here now. Okay, cool. So, Hypercycle is from you, and that's what we can test with. Is that correct?
No, that's not yet. That's not yet live. I think... Top of mind, I think alpha is slated for Q1 of 23.
Okay. And how can we get potentially involved already, or is there something like sneak peeks or testings or anything to get an idea how to work with it? so that we can plan with it potentially in the future.
With you do mean with hypercycle specifically? 'Cause with-
Yes,
I mean,
from my
we-
understanding currently.
Okay. I mean, you can check out the AI marketplace if you want, but I'm not sure if that's what you're aiming for. I
I don't know
link
yet
in-
either. but you'll be around for a while, so I just get back to you if I may. If I may.
Of course.
Cool. that's
But I
perfect.
think for the current platform and to test out AI services, which you can do right now, that would be the second link I put in chat.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
stored both of them.
Sure. Yeah.
I st-
Yeah, and do follow up
and
on it if you have a look around.
If I may ask another question, I have seen just recently a video of Peyton with I don't know, I can't remember what's her name, your AI I can't remember.
Must be
The
Desdemona.
doll. And there was some comment. It was quite negative, and it says it would be more adventurous looking at GDP3 than getting the output of the doll. What's the name of it?
Well, there's Sophia, but I think the one you referred to
yes.
is Desdemona. Perhaps.
Yeah. Can you take a position on this one, like on the comment like that? Is it because of you taking a different training approach, or you?
Simplest for me. I'm not an AI dev myself. The simplest for me in this case.
Okay.
Ben did comment on Telegram on the GPT-3 and also on the dialogue systems. Basically, it's a whole different approach. I can send you a couple of links after this. I think that
Yes.
that would be the simplest, just to get you the information.
Yes, perfect. You want to DM them, or do you put them in a channel?
Whatever you prefer.
Whatever you prefer. Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll
just
be
need to know. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, then I think we should, for now, wrap up. Unless there's other questions or thoughts related to the ambassador program itself. Cool. Then, yeah. Thanks a lot, everybody, for attending, and hope to see you coming Friday during the podcast meeting or next week at the Townhall.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.